We've assembled some of the greatest minds in cycling history. The know-it-all, Adam Kelsall, reportedly has a photographic mind or something. Encyclopedic knowledge of all things cycling. Well, some things. The has-been, Billy Joe Shearsby, infamous in the world of track cycling, having won a world championship in 1993, along with two other hacks and a freckle. A legend, Phil Anderson, first non-European to wear the yellow jersey at some backwater race in France. Together they are Grupetto Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grupetto Show. We've got a huge show tonight, bigger than Phil Anderson's crutch. We've got a world exclusive interview with Shane Kelly. We're also going to talk to Matt Damon, and maybe even Robin Williams will make an appearance. Billy Joe, how are you?
I'm very well, Adam. I'm very well. I'm rested up, unlike the last one where we spent hours and hours every night up watching the tour. Mm-hmm.
Look who's back in the saddle, Billy Joe.
Who?
None other than Phil Anderson.
Phil Anderson. He's back, everybody.
How are you, Phil?
Yeah, good. Back replacing my ponytail from the early 90s. Yes.
Where is the ponytail now?
I'm not sure. It's at large, actually. I heard a rumour that was actually on eBay and, made quite a bit of money for charity. For good
It wasn't
cause.
happy with its treatment on the show here. It was expecting its own green room and trailer. There was a huge argument with the production crew, and last seen the ponytail was hitchhiking its way back up towards Geelong, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Could be anywhere, in
Still
fact.
at large.
Still at large.
Yeah.
So, Phil, you witnessed the Tour de France firsthand. Give us your take on this year's Tour de France.
Yes, other than getting a suntan over there, it was
Yep.
it was a good tour. It wasn't sort of a memorable tour from what we might remember from some of the best years, but still there's certainly some great moments in the tour. The win, obviously, Chris Froome won quite convincingly.
Demonstrating for once and for all that style and technique on the bike means almost nothing.
That's right.
Apparently,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Have we ever seen a rougher rider win a Tour de France?
No, except last time he won, I guess.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
2 years ago. Look, it was a great tour. Froome obviously put a big hit out on the first mountain in the Pyrenees, and unfortunately that scared everybody off, and it took everybody a few days before they could realise that it was not totally invincible and would be possible to pull back some time, but unfortunately Movistar just took too many days to realise that, and but still, you can't blame the Sky team. They win whichever way they can, and they did it quite convincingly.
Do you think that Chris Froome is going to face a much greater challenge when Nairo Quintana goes through puberty? When he hits his teen years, I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's he's still young and adolescent in some ways.
Yeah,
you might say.
yeah.
But anyway, he's Froome's obviously at the peak of his career, and there's still some good riders. They're going to be stepping up to the plate pretty soon.
And as you yourself said, Adam, for a crappy triathlete, Richie Porte has done very, very well over there. Like he's really been the mainstay of the support team for Chris Froome, wouldn't you say?
Yes, RV Richie. He had a very good end to the tour. And my Richie rant for tonight is going to be, Richie, I'm glad that you've crossed to BMC, but if you can't win at Team Sky, you can't win.
No, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how those guys, they're going to be racing against each other, because Froome's one of his best, personal mates. I mean, Froome came down and rode in Tasmania early in the year, and, they did a few thousand Ks together. And that was just on one day, I think. But yeah, other than that one day, they're best of mates. And now to think that they're actually going to have to be attacking each other, it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Yeah, but it's amazing how quick situations can change. And one of my very early directors, when I turned pro, he said, "Listen, if you get one important thing out of this, it's never make enemies in the bunch, because you never know when you're going to need." Somebody along to give you a hand. I think Goodell Evans, he might have won more than that one too if he, if he had more friends in the bunch.
Wow.
And you responded by knocking Hino off and breaking his nose, I believe.
Well, that's right. Yeah,
He had to be taught a lesson. I mean, come on.
The angry badger.
Someone had to put the angry badger back in his place.
Another story.
So at this stage, I know this may be a touch early, but who's your prediction to win next year's tour?
Well, I'd love to see Quintana getting up there.
That's what I'm
giving it a
thinking.
crack.
Well, he'll be
Quintana.
He'll be 12. He'll be nearly 13 next year. Quintana.
That's right. Yep.
He'd have to be a very, very strong possibility for that one.
Yeah. We can sleep that extra 10 minutes in the morning because he doesn't have to shave.
Exactly right. Right. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weather in Melbourne on Sunday was filthy, which is perfect for a cyclocross race. Phil, Billy Joe and myself, we went and sussed it out. What did we see, BJ?
Well, it was my first time ever to the, which I wasn't too versed on what it was all about, but the I believe it's the UFCX Australian Championships.
That's right.
Ultimate Fighting Cyclocross Championships of Australia. And we saw some great biffo. We saw a lot of some interesting bike riding as well, but there was some fantastic wrestling.
The huge unit, Paul Andre the Giant Vanderploeg.
Yep.
And 18-time Australian mountain bike champion, Jay Blood. Now, Phil, you just spoke to Jay Blood before the race. How was his vibe before the race? Did he foresaw the UFCX that was coming up?
I don't think so. I mean, he's very competitive. He's got a bad reputation. Unfortunately, but we got a great race.
Well, as a jiu-jitsu practitioner and instructor myself, I'd have to say that his climbing was on point. His wrestling just a little bit below par, really. If you're going to come out and compete in an event like the UFCX Championships like this, your striking, like his wrestling was okay, but his striking really was a little bit off.
Yes.
Against big Paulie, he didn't stand a chance there.
And the fighting nature wasn't just unique to the men.
No, not at all.
We have footage of Mel Ansett, who finished second. Mel, one of Gruppetto show's favourites.
Yes.
Apparently karate chopped out of the way by Lisa.
Well, and I mean, we saw Lisa's obviously aggression problems, probably due to the testosterone use, but casting her bike to the ground in fury at the end, despite winning.
We've got some footage here of Lisa throwing her
casting her bike violently to the ground in anger at some of your questioning.
So we'll cross to Mel.
Why don't we cross to that now and have a look
with the karate chop, and then Lisa dropping the bike.
Absolutely.
Come on, Jeffrey!
I'm just watching these women tear through this berm. This is amazing stuff. I've never seen anything like it. These are bike handling skills of the highest order. Here comes another one now. If you look at this, she's using that familiar left-right pedaling technique. Then she's going to lean. Oh, she took a high line. That was a very high line there. We're here at the bottom of what is definitely the steepest climb on this course. I believe they refer to it as the wall. It's very hard to tell. I'm going to try to push a stone into it here. That surface is very, very hard and bumpy, which actually doesn't make it any easier because the wheels are just going to skip out all over the place. I recommend running this hill, personally, or even better, probably not even doing the race because that looks horrible. And here we go, just to demonstrate how steep this is. Adam's going to have a go at running up this hill. Go. Look at that. He's going well. He's going well. He's lost traction already. He's going to have to hop off and crawl, I think. He's done a valve. He's done a valve. That.
We're about halfway through the women's cyclocross race now, national championships, and I'm here with Naomi, aka Rensky, whose partner Beck is racing. How's she looking out there?
She's looking really good. She started on the back of the field because this is her very first cyclocross race.
Hang on, wait. First ever?
Yep, first ever. So on a borrowed bike.
As you can see here, this course is slippery, it's treacherous, it's terrifying.
You on? We on? Is my hair okay?
No.
Have I still got mud all over my face?
Yes.
You don't have any mud. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with now three-time national champion, Lisa Jacobs. Congratulations.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks very much.
That was a terrific race. What do you put your win down to today?
Some pretty intensive rehab, and I've been getting a lot of help from the VIS with rehab.
And what were some of the good things going through your mind with 2 laps to go? Knowing you were going to be national champ for the 3rd time?
Oh, you don't know. You never know until you cross the line. But certainly I was feeling a bit happier about life, yeah.
Good. Now, Lisa, you're rocking an amazing skin suit today. We love the Rafa gear. You're representing Rafa. Who else would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank first and foremost my amazing mechanic, Paul Larkin, who has just not only tuned my bikes to perfection, my Focus bikes, but also sponsors me with FMB tyres.
We're here at Fields of Joy in Essendon with 2nd place in the National Cyclocross Champs, Mel Ansett. Well done, Mel.
Thank you. I'm pretty stoked to get 2nd today. It was a really fun course. I had a really good time. I didn't have the fitness to keep up with Lisa today. She did a really good job, but yeah, I really enjoyed it and pretty stoked to get 2nd.
It's a great result. Tell us a bit about how the race unfolded.
Well, from the get-go, I thought I had the whole shot, and then Lisa did this, I think it was like a BMX chopping move around Terry and myself. Just.
Can you, if I'm you, can you reenact what she did?
Next race. That was exciting stuff.
we love that. We love that.
And I was like, wow, that was like a BMX chop.
So, Paul, this is the winning bike?
Yeah, it is. It is.
So, pretty standard, or is something different here?
It's pretty standard, and it's running a standard SRAM group set. We've modified the drop a little bit to run a straight line of housing all the way through, but otherwise it's dead standard. Wheels are standard, just hand-built wheels.
Yep.
So use good stuff, but nothing too out of the ordinary really. So Curve's done a great job with them, but otherwise it's dead standard.
Okay, so for the non-cyclocross person, how does this bike differ from a road bike?
The geometry is a little bit different, so your centre of gravity and where it sits, and this has got disc brakes, which will be new. We'll see them in road bikes pretty soon.
Okay, because of the accent, we might have to put some subtitles in here. But no, I mean it's a pretty well set up rig. Is that elliptical chain rings there?
No, they're not actually. It's just it's a standard narrow wide, so it means you don't need to run a front derailleur. But otherwise, it's dead standard.
Standard narrow wide.
So it's just a clever chain ring that keeps the chain on when you don't have a guide.
Okay, beautiful. Well, obviously those tyres look quite a bit different than for those road riders.
So these are probably the only part on here that you can't buy, but otherwise it's dead standard. These are FMBs, so they're made by Francois in France, and these ones are made especially for Lisa. So it's a casing you can't buy. And he makes these for national champions and for a couple of the pros, and it's the same type of tyre as Wiggins rode for the hour record, and Sky and Bone and everyone would ride for the classics. But otherwise it's dead standard.
Okay, and what sort of pressure do we use? Is that secret?
It is.
I get different every event, I guess.
It does. It changes a lot, but Lisa runs really low, so she's got a lot of traction, and you can see that she rolls over stuff really fast. Today she was running around about 20 in the front and 22 psi in the rear, so pretty low by any standards. But otherwise, it's dead standard.
Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, then we'll listen. Thanks very much for that insight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know that behind every great woman is a great man, or maybe, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that anymore, but we're here with Ben Randall, Mel Ansett, who finished 2nd. This is her mechanic. Ben, happy with Mel's race?
Oh, definitely a good race. She can only do what she can do, and I think she did a great one.
Mel's got 2 bikes here. Tell us about them.
Yes, well, this is predominantly the race bike here, the Trek. So she'd prefer to race on this one and only really use the Yeti as a backup. The Trek is obviously the new one in the fleet. It's got all the nice good bits. It's got the little spinny metal rotary things at the front there. It's got these levery things here around the centre. and it's got these rubbery bits here which keep her rolling.
And there's some rubbery thing in here. Is that like a condom or something?
There's a little flexible part in here. It might be so that we can make the frame a bit smaller to get it into the car. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but it does something pretty cool, I believe.
But otherwise, it's dead standard.
So I've come to have a few words with Mud. Seems like you're a bit dry today. Are you thirsty? Okay, and how do these conditions compare to years gone by? A year on, are you feeling a bit tired?
How are you, mate? From Victoria.
How's it going, Albie? So you feel under pressure here? You got some big names around you.
Definitely under pressure. There's old and new here. It's good. I'm a bit nervous.
Bit nervous. And the black stripe, is that odd?
It's just a reflective strip. It's just purely fashionista.
So does that mean you're going to be back late tonight?
Oh, definitely.
From South Australia,
It's going to take me a little while to recover, so I'll have to be home in the dark.
So, Chris, how do the conditions seem today, mate?
Very dry compared to yesterday, so it's good for me. We don't really get that much mud in Adelaide, so it's played in my hand, I think.
Yeah. And the hill, no problems there?
Nah, no problem there. Got some good traction on, so fresh tyres from F&B, so that's going to help me out today.
But otherwise, it's dead standard.
So, here at the mud pile, I think everybody's gone through. So you think you got another 35 minutes in you? Yeah, geez, that must have hurt. Look, they came through at a bit of a pace. I don't think they'll come through with such a bunch next lap. So you're in good condition, though, for the rest of the day. Beautiful. Well, thanks for that insight, and we'll see how you feel later.
Go, Chris!
Pretty quick. Jeez, the skills are good, aren't they?
Okay, boys, listen, there's been some unruly rooting going on out there. So who are we supporting today?
David Ranson.
David Ranson? How many are there? There's a Team Ranson, that's for sure.
Dreamboat.
MC Lil Davey.
MC Little Davey.
Oh, okay, so it's a bit of an MC, is he?
Yes.
We're expecting big things from David today, the Dreamboat. He's definitely a crowd pleaser and a killer with the ladies, so yeah.
Okay.
We're here with the Vanderpoog family after a controversial race finish. Straight to the... What's your take on it, Jerry? Paul's dad?
What's my take on it? Luckily, I didn't see the incident.
You must all be very proud. He had a few lean years after winning the Eliminator, and he's trained and worked really hard to get back to where he's at.
What did he say then? He worked hard to get...
Sorry, I talked very quickly then. What I said is he won the Eliminator and then he had injury and university and, things got in the way, but he seems to be back now.
Paul and his training, he's got this carefree sort of an attitude. So with Paul, as long as he's riding his bike, he's happy, but if somebody puts a program under his nose, he'll run the other way quickly. I think he's just one of these kids, he just loves riding. So as long as you allow him to do that, you can sort of see the result that you get today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a world exclusive here. Jerry Vanderpoog saying that his son doesn't train hard enough.
No, I didn't say he doesn't train hard enough. His training is more or less, shall we say, unstructured.
All right, we're here at the National Cyclocross Championships with none other than local legend Barry McCormack.
Hey boys, how are we going?
How would you describe this course?
Oh, bloody hard. It was raining yesterday, so it was way harder than it is now. But awesome, so much fun. Yeah.
And do you think I should have a go at this?
Oh, totally. And I really don't like the fact that you don't race anymore and don't want to race. And I really reckon you need to get over that and come out here and have a go.
Well, Barry, I must say this looks very exciting. I think I'm going to have a crack at this. So you might see me at the next one.
So some ripping footage there from the SRAM Australian Cyclocross Championships and a bit of biff at the end between Big Paulie and Little Jongleward. Phil, what's your take on biff in cycling?
Well, it was an imposing figure, I tell you that.
Vanderpoog?
Oh, sorry, Vanderpoog, yeah. Quite a giant of a man. Certainly got youth on his side. But really exciting race. And, for it to come down to the last 100 metres. Is we knew we were going to be in for something special, and he didn't disappoint.
It was an amazing finish. And BJ, you've had good friends Stuart O'Grady and Robbie Williams McEwen. There was a little headbutt incident at the finish of the Tour de France.
Bit of hip and shoulder, but there was never any animosity between them as such. I mean, apart from possibly Robbie maybe not having paid for his drinks the night before or something like that, I don't know. But anyway, what was interesting about this one was that as they came into the finish there, Paul correctly attacked down the inside to hopefully open a bit of a gap. And as they came out, there was a little bit of an entanglement, and one rider maybe elbowed his way out of that a little bit. But then, and in the heat of the moment, you can't blame Chris for grabbing Ben Henderson's wheel because he would have got away. And he was wrecking everything for him. So from that point on, Paul Henderson, he obviously opened the gap then, and then Chris couldn't quite catch up. And then, so he lost the title in that moment, unfortunately.
And I guess my thoughts are, a national title, you want it to be hard fought. You want an amazing course, which it was. The hill, like a 30% hill, which you saw on the video. And so it would have been a tough decision for the commissaires. Do you think they made the right decision?
No, it wouldn't have been tough. Nobody likes Chris Youngerwood. They were never going to give it to him.
No, well, I think what they should have done is they should have just made those two go on for another lap. Fought it out.
Or just fight it out.
Yeah.
That would have been way more interesting, I think.
It'd go the biff.
Yeah, well, I mean, who's going to beat Big Paulie?
But Chris, he's grown up in Adelaide. He's a street fighter.
He is a street fighter,
yes. It would be maybe next year, just not even have a race, just
let him fight.
A cage.
Just let him fight.
Put him in there.
Let him fight.
Go the biff.
Definitely.
Yeah. Great racing. Congratulations to both Lisa Jacobs, who Billy Joe.
Once she gets the rage issues under control, I think she's got a potential to dominate that sport.
Do you
want
to retract what you said about Lisa a minute ago, considering she is a lawyer?
I may have said that the rage issues were due to her, steroid use, and I have no facts to base that on apart from the way she threw that bike on the ground. But look, we might need to get a lawyer. Lisa, we believe you are a lawyer. Would you come in and help us defend ourselves if this ever goes to trial?
And
please.
And karate.
We love you, Lisa.
Karate chopped Mel Ansett out of the way.
It's going to be... we're reaching a very exciting time on Grupetto Show here because there is a slight rumour going around that we may potentially be on free-to-air TV at some stage, possibly in a weekly format. Which, I mean, despite the fact that we probably won't be allowed to do things like product placement and, clearly don't know how to do product placement, the earning potential for a show like this is huge, and it's going to be fun, and hopefully people are interested in, maybe helping us out in any way. I need a new track bike. Things like, just generally getting involved in supporting a show about cycling.
Phil,
giant bicycles.
If you were going to do some product placement, how would you go about that?
But, it would bring up a real storm of beer if we were to, openly whore ourselves out for, money or beer.
So there is a chance that we're going to be on telly?
Absolutely.
Weekly? So
possibly on Crime Stoppers.
So if you would like to create a media storm, then please feel free to contact our manager.
Absolutely.
Who is our manager?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't think we can say his name.
I've heard that.
If you say it 3 times, he appears behind you in the bathroom, so you got to be careful. Thank you, Candyman. I think with that, we might have to wrap it up for another Grupetto show. There's also a possibility we may come to you from a secret, as yet undisclosed location for next week's episode.
Very excited about that one. And if you'd like to get the Grupetto show at your place, not your house, but at your business.
Or in your house.
Or in your house. If you're Rupert Murdoch, would be happy to do. Or would we?
Well, let's face it, anyone that's going to make dinner and supply Storm beer.
We're happy to film from your house. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Phil.
Been a pleasure.
Great.
I look forward to next week's show.
Great to have you back from France.
Relieved.
Relieved.
If we find the ponytail, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
And Hank, good luck.
Yes.
We're behind you.
Hank Jenner. Did I just say that?
You did.
Oh.
Love you, Hank. Mwah. Bye-bye now. Alrighty then. use the Hank stuff, you've got to at least send it to him.